Hello everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this beautiful pair of Wurlitzer Spectra-Tone cabinets that I picked up from Dave's guitar shop a few weeks ago. Now this one's already been modified by their amp tech, Todd Wolfgram, with a new preamp section. It's been modified to use some more easy to find tubes, and uses just a 1/4 inch jack now, so much easier to use than the original Wurlitzer 9-pin system. Obviously they look very similar to a Leslie speaker system, and there's design similarities as well. The upper section of these cabinets has a pair of high frequency drivers that are opposing one another that spin on an axle with a counterbalance on the opposite side. The lower section of this cabinet has a woofer in it that's just forward facing. There is no drum or rotating baffle associated with the low end here, so only the high frequency drivers will physically spin inside of this cabinet. It's a pretty neat setup. It's a 2-speed system. It's either in low gear or high gear all the time. There's a separate motor that operates each, and there's a foot switch on my pedal board here so that I can change the speeds on it. We'll talk a little bit about the pedal board, and then we'll take it for a spin. So the first pedal that I'm going into is an Aphex 1404 Punch Factory compressor. It's a great little pedal. It takes out the spikes and brings up your sustain a little bit, smooths out your sound, and gives this kind of a fuller feel. Typically I run it on pretty much all the time. After the compressor, I'm going out into an Electro Harmonics Q-Tron envelope filter. And certainly there's a lot of discussion as to whether or not you should have a compressor ahead of or behind an envelope filter because of the way they react. In this case, it's working out pretty good. I'm actually able to get just kind of what I'm looking for out of the Q-Tron, nothing over the top. So I'm happy with it for now. Out of the Q-Tron, I'm going into a really neat distortion pedal called the Sloika, designed by Todd Wolfgram, the same individual who's modified the first of these Wurlitzer Spectra-Tone cabinets. A really neat piece of gear that we'll talk about in more depth in another video. Out of the Sloika distortion pedal, we're going into a Boss DS1, real standard pedal. The two of them I'm asking to do quite different things, but they're playing really well together. I'll likely be engaging the Sloika for most of the demo, and then just applying the DS1 a little extra high end with the DS1 sparingly throughout this. After the DS1, I'm running the guitar sound into a Vox Time Machine delay, pretty standard delay unit, and from there it runs up into this rack unit into a Yamaha GEP50 unit that I'm just using to put a little reverberation on the sound. So that's the signal chain, and now I'll go ahead and grab a guitar and we'll fire this thing up and let you hear it. that's it for the Wurlitzer Spectra-Tone Demo. We've got a lot more videos on the way. Feel free to ask questions or leave comments. You can share with your friends and subscribe to the channel if you like. Thanks again for tuning in.